This is in the matter of Timothy. Oops, let me turn the record on. This is in the matter of People versus Timothy John Weller. Mr. Weller was charged with using a computer to commit a crime, larceny of more than 1,000 but less than 20,000, and larceny over 200 but less than 1,000. The defendant entered a plea to larceny over 200 but less than 1,000. I set the matter for sentencing for today. The matter was bound over to circuit court sometime last year or earlier this year, and then it was remanded back earlier this spring, bound over in May, remanded in July. I canceled Mr. Weller's bond. He wasn't very happy about that, but set the matter for sentencing this morning. And so here we are. The complainant was here the day of the plea, but he wasn't able to be here today. His transportation, Mr. Steve Wilson, was here. Mr. Wilson wrote a letter on his behalf, and but he's not here. But he did express this, essentially turned his life upside down, losing all of this money. Mr. Bush, what would you like us to know here?
Mr. Weller, in open court, agreed to assist jointly and severally on full restitution. I don't know that we'll ever know exactly what happened here. I think there's a fair amount of finger pointing, but Mr. Weller has accepted responsibility for his portion of this case. He is not in the best physical health. He deals with seizures. He's currently off his med. Prior to coming into custody, he was working part-time at the Subway store in Sturgis, Michigan. As often happens to our homeless population in St. Joe County, he's physically lost his ID, he's physically lost his Medicaid card, so he's having a difficult time getting re-involved in services. As I said, he is currently homeless. He has a past history of dealing with community mental health. He wants to re-engage. His diagnosed symptoms were depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. He has spent a substantial time in jail. This is a tragic case to the victim. We reviewed Mr. Wilson's letter. What Mr. Weller is asking is an opportunity to be supervised on probation, to supervise restitution, and to get him involved in community mental health. And it escapes me their current name, I'm sorry, but community mental health or their current successor. And I'm going blank on their name. Thank you. Yes, pivotal. Thank you.
I'll hear from Mr. Weller, then I'll hear from Mr. Marvin. Mr. Weller, what would you like us to know?
First of all, Your Honor, I would like to say I'm sorry for what happened. And like I told you the last time, I'll do anything I can to help him.
Well, you got mad and you said you wanted to withdraw your plea.
That's because I was confused.
All right. Do you wish your plea to stand at this point?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to figure out the bond situation here. You were in custody. I think when Judge Stutzman remanded the case, he reduced the bond. I can't discern that from looking at this file. When did you bond out?
End of May, first part of June, I think it was. I went in there in April, I believe, Your Honor, you get out till like June.
The reason I can't tell is because the bond was posted in circuit court, so it doesn't show up in our register. Hello, Deputy Kindig. I'm trying to calculate how much time Tim Weller's got credit for. Timothy John Weller. He got arrested in April, and I can't tell when he bonded out. April 27th. All right, 4/26. All right. All right, thanks. Bye. All right, you went out on April 26th, which is 4 days in April, 27 days in May, which is 31 days. Then I put you back in jail on 8/28, which is 3 days in August and 5 days in September, which is 8 days. So you've got 39 days credit. All right, now you guys, Heather Sproul primarily, and this other guy stole $8,000 from this complainant, and it turned his life upside down. He was working, he had a job, he had an ID, he had saved $8,000. Keystone had a place for him to live. He wasn't supposed to let people live there, but he let you guys live there. And he got ripped off, and he lost his housing, he lost his job, he lost his benefits, and according to Mr. Wilson, he's now living under a tree. He's also relapsed after months of sobriety. How much money did you get?
Your Honor, the only thing I got was like $600. All the rest of it, Heather and him took from me. And I didn't live with Greg White at the time. I was still homeless on the streets.
All right. Now, at one point, you had a Ford Escape. I don't think you had a license, but they said, well, how did you get money to buy this car?
Saving.
Saving from what?
Working, doing odd jobs and stuff.
All right. So you bought that car with your own money.
Yes.
You told the officers you got $3,600 and you spent it at the casino, every penny. So is that accurate?
I don't remember, Your Honor, because it was all confusing at the time. But the money I got was $600.
Did you blow it all at the casino?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Well, where did that come from?
That came from money from me working on the side.
Well, let me just say, I don't believe you. I don't know which lie is correct, but you told the officers you went to the casino and gambled it all away and didn't win one penny. Mr. Marvin, what's your position here?
This is a felony, and the reason it's not upstairs is because the laws have changed recently, and they actually have been relaxed, as you know, where the consequence that we used to have, or the threat of prison, it doesn't even exist. As a matter of fact, there's an assumption that anything under 18 months is not even jail. So upstairs, this would have been probably no more jail. And what I'm interested in is getting that man his money as soon as we can, if it's possible. But there also had to be a consequence. I don't think 39 days is enough for what happened. Whatever he did with the money, whatever they did with the money, I can tell you that an account was set up by the guy sitting here in this room right now. And then $8,000 is transferred to the account that he set up. And whatever his crook friends did with it, I don't know. But it was pretty bad because they preyed on this man, took advantage of him.
I will when he's finished. This is his turn.
So I think that we're down here because the law has changed, and if I want to get anything done, it's through this court. So now I've got to try to juggle. If he had enough money to save up to buy a car, which I doubt, then that means he can get to work and start paying back this man who's now homeless and in really bad shape. But I also think that 39 days for what he's done is that I don't think that's enough, Your Honor. I think it's pretty bad what happened here, and there's got to be. I'll leave that to you, obviously, but I think it should hurt a little more. I don't know if this is a matter of I'm sorry I did it or I'm sorry I got caught.
Well, and I don't believe he's telling me the truth. And I think there's also a methamphetamine factor here. You were high when I saw you, and you're not now. You've been in jail for 8 days and your head is on straight. So that's a plus. But you're homeless, jobless, you have a methamphetamine addiction, and you're not telling me the truth about what happened to this guy's $8,000. The only way to collect it is to try to put you on a probation, and I really don't want you on probation. And I think it's unlikely we're going to get $8,000, but the guy is clearly out the money. What else did you want to tell me, Mr. Weller?
Your Honor, like I said, I'll do anything to pay this man back. I'm remorseful for what I did. Whatever it takes to pay this man back. I just need time to get a job, to start paying money back to however I can get it back to him. I'm gonna take responsibility for this.
All right. Well, I wish you'd tell me the truth about what happened. When's the last time you worked a real job?
So what?
All right. Well, you're not going to be able to pay. Now, supposedly you saved up money and bought this car. I'm not sure I'd buy that. I don't know if this money went to buy this car. You don't have a license anyway.
Part of it did, 600 of it did. The other money I came up with.
All right. So I don't, all right. My apologies to the probation department. 24 months probation.
I don't care if it's flipping a burger at McDonald's, Your Honor, it's still a job.
There's honor in every job. 100 days, credit 39, leaving 61 days to do. The fine is 0. The crime victims' rights is 75, a $50 state minimum fee. I'm gonna waive the probation oversight fee. I'm gonna waive the attorney fee. You owe $8,000 restitution, joint and several, meaning it gets paid. I don't care who pays it, but theoretically you're half. But you're still not telling me the truth. I don't know whether you gambled it away, bought a car, bought tarot cards. I don't know what you did with it, but you're not being truthful. And the likelihood of you getting, first of all, you got to get out, get a place to live, get a job, which is what Mr. Wilson had helped this guy do. Helped him get ID, helped him get a job, helped him get a place to live through Keystone, helped him get sober. And the guy was really doing well. And Mr. Wilson is part of this homeless outreach group in Sturgis where they help people with just fundamental things. All that stuff. And then Mr. Wilson took him to the bank and he realized his $8,000 was gone and he just fell apart. For naught. You guys took his money and blew it. It was very devastating to him. And anything we get back is better than none. That's $8,125. No alcohol, no drugs, substance abuse counseling and treatment is directed. I don't really want you on probation. One option was just give you 365 days in jail, but as Mr. Marvin says, that doesn't get this guy any money. We'll see if we can squeeze some out. Anyway, you've got 61 days to do minus good time, which will be about 50 days. It'll also give you more time to detox from the methamphetamine. You don't have money to live or eat, but you manage to scrabble up enough money to feed your methamphetamine addiction, and we need to deal with that also. All right, you can go with the court officer.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.